Welcome back to Rick's English channel for this special depth dive.
So glad to be here.
Yeah, we are thrilled to have you. So picture this scenario for a second. It is like 4:00 p.m. on a Friday.
Oh, the absolute worst time.
Right, the worst. You are staring at a computer screen that is just completely full of unread emails.
Yeah, we've all been there.
And suddenly your manager walks up to your desk, smiles, and asks for a quote-unquote quick favor.
Which is never actually quick.
Never. So your brain just completely panics. I mean, you want to be helpful, but you also really want to go home today.
Totally understandable.
So what happens? You freeze, and all you can think to say is, I am very busy.
Yep, the classic panic response.
Exactly. So today, we're going to fix that panic. By the end of this deep dive, you, the listener, are going to learn how to naturally talk about being busy at work in English.
It's going to be so useful.
It really is. We are going to explore how to talk about deadlines, how to accurately describe your workload, and most importantly, how to ask for more time politely.
And you want to do all of this while sounding, calm and professional.
Right. Calm, confident, highly professional. Because that Friday afternoon panic, it's just so universal, right?
Oh, it happens to everyone. Especially when you are speaking a second language in a really fast-paced environment.
Yeah, that just adds so much pressure.
It does. Your brain just defaults to the safest, simplest phrase it knows. And for English learners everywhere, that safety blanket is usually just, I am very busy.
It's like the ultimate default setting.
It really is.
But I want to explore why relying on that specific phrase is actually causing problems for people at work. Because, grammatically speaking, I am very busy is a perfectly fine sentence.
There's no error there at all.
Right. The listener knows exactly what those words mean, so why are we trying to fix a sentence that isn't actually broken?
Well, while it is grammatically correct, it's linguistically flat.
Flat. Okay, what do you mean by that?
When you're at work, you aren't just like transmitting raw data to a computer. You are managing relationships.
Ah, right. It's human interaction.
Exactly. So if you just repeat, I am very busy, every single time a colleague asks you for something, your communication becomes totally one-dimensional.
It's almost like a brick wall.
Yes. It provides absolutely no context about your situation, and it can easily sound dismissive, It just doesn't help you manage the expectations of the person asking for your time.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. You might just be trying to survive the afternoon, but to your colleague, it sounds like a blunt rejection.
Exactly.
So our mission today is to give you, the listener, native-sounding alternatives. We want phrases that communicate the reality of your schedule, but also preserve those important workplace relationships.
Which is key.
And something I've noticed about native English speakers is that when they need to deliver bad news, like, telling someone they don't have time to help, they almost always reach for idioms.
Idioms or like highly visual phrases, yeah?
Right, to kind of soften the blow.
They absolutely do.
Mm-hmm.
Using a visual phrase takes the personal rejection out of the conversation. It points to a shared reality instead.
Okay, so let's get into some of those.
Well, the first phrase we should look at is one of the most common in professional English, which is, I have a lot on my plate.
Oh, I love that one. I have a lot on my plate. It's just such a vivid image.
It really is.
When I hear this, I always imagine, standing at a buffet restaurant.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, so you're really hungry, right? You grab a plate and you just start loading it up.
You've got to try everything.
Exactly. You add some salad, a big scoop of pasta, piece of chicken, maybe a bread roll, and suddenly there is zero physical space left on the porcelain.
It's completely piled high.
Right. So if a friend walks over and tries to hand you, I don't know, a massive bowl of hot soup, you wouldn't just say no.
You'd spill it everywhere.
Yeah, you would look at your hands and say, I can't carry that. I have a lot on my plate.
That visual perfectly captures the reality of modern work capacity. I mean, in an office setting, your plate is your schedule.
And the food is your list of tasks.
Exactly. When you tell a manager, I have a lot on my plate this week, you are signaling that you aren't avoiding their new project because you're lazy.
Right. It's just that your capacity is genuinely overflowing.
Yeah, it sounds human, it sounds professional, and it completely avoids sounding like you're complaining.
It shifts the focus from, I don't want to help you, to, I literally physically cannot carry anything else.
Spot on.
So let's look at another visual phrase that does something similar, but maybe in a slightly different tone. Like, what about when the situation is just incredibly messy and overwhelming?
Oh, for that feeling, the natural phrase is, I'm swamped.
I'm swamped. Yeah, a swamp is essentially a muddy, wetland, right?
Lots of mud.
So if you try to walk through a swamp in heavy boots, you just sink into the mud, you can't move fast, every step is a struggle, and things are constantly pulling at you.
That feeling of sinking is exactly what this phrase conveys.
It sounds stressful.
It is. When you say, I'm swamped at work, you're communicating that you are bogged down by a massive amount of small, heavy tasks.
So is this one as professional as the plate analogy?
Well, this phrase is actually slightly more casual than having a lot on your plate. It's a fantastic phrase to use with a peer, a friendly colleague, or maybe a manager you have a very comfortable relationship with.
Oh, okay. So if a coworker asks if you want to grab coffee.
Yeah, saying, I'm swamped today, can we talk tomorrow, is friendly, but it sets an incredibly clear boundary.
Got it. Okay, so we have the buffet plate and we have the muddy swamp, but what if the situation is much more immediate?
Like right in this very second.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say you aren't overwhelmed for the whole week, but right at this exact moment, you just cannot do a favor.
Then you would use the phrase, I'm tied up right now.
I'm tied up. Now, I really want to clarify the imagery here for the listener, because we do not mean someone literally took a rope and tied you to your office chair.
No, that would be a very, very different type of workplace problem.
A much more serious problem, yeah.
The imagery here is more about your hands being physically occupied. Imagine you're carrying like 3 heavy cardboard boxes down a hallway.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
And a colleague asks, hey, can you open this door for me? You would reply, sorry, I'm tied up.
Oh, I see. Because you are currently engaged in a specific action and physically cannot do something else right at this exact moment.
Exactly. So in a modern office, this is absolutely perfect for instant messaging.
Like Slack or Teams.
Yeah. If someone sends you a message saying, hey, can you jump on a quick video call? Replying with, sorry, I'm tied up right now, is the perfect polite defense.
It tells the other person you are actively working on something else without requiring a massive explanation.
It is incredibly useful for those immediate interruptions. If you just take those 3 phrases, I have a lot on my plate, I'm swamped, and I'm tied up right now, your English will instantly sound significantly more natural.
But I'm guessing that just saying the phrase isn't always enough, right? I mean, if I tell my manager my plate is full, they're naturally going to wonder what exactly is taking up all that space.
They definitely will want to know.
So we have to be able to justify our busy status.
We do. Establishing that you are busy is only half the communication. The other half is using the right vocabulary to explain the why.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, the most powerful pocket word a learner can carry with them is the word deadline.
The dreaded deadline, just the final date or time when a task absolutely must be finished.
Right, but how you frame that deadline completely changes the psychology of the conversation.
Really? How so?
You could just say, I have a deadline, and that is a good, solid start. But if time's getting shorter, a native speaker would likely say, the deadline is coming up.
Oh, yeah. I need to finish this report today because the deadline is coming up. That sounds very natural.
It does. But what if the pressure is intense? What if the deadline is tomorrow morning and you are really, really stressed out?
Okay, what do we say then?
This is where we can introduce a slightly more advanced phrasing. I'm working against a deadline.
Working against a deadline. The word against does a lot of heavy lifting there.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it almost makes it sound like a competition or like a battle. You are fighting the clock.
Let's look at why that psychological framing works so well on a manager. When you say, I'm working against a deadline, you are positioning time as the mutual enemy.
Oh, wow. I like that.
Yeah, you aren't fighting your colleague over bandwidth. You and your team are on the same side, racing against the clock to achieve a company goal.
So it instantly justifies why you cannot take on their new request. You are highly focused, and you are in a race.
It's a brilliant way to frame it. You become a dedicated worker protecting the company's goals rather than just an unhelpful colleague.
That makes a ton of sense. Now, we just talked about time, but we also need to talk about volume, right? Like the actual amount of work we have.
Yes, the volume is crucial.
And I want to pause here because I hear a very specific trap that a lot of English learners fall into. When they want to explain they have too much to do, they often say, I have many works.
Ah, yes. That is a very common translation trap.
Yeah.
And it is something we really need to correct.
Okay, I'm going to advocate for the listener here and push back a bit on this one.
Go for it.
If a learner says to you, I can't meet today, I have many works, you know exactly what they mean, right?
I do, yes.
The communication was technically successful, no one is confused. So why should a learner stress over fixing this specific grammar point if the message gets across?
That is a very fair question. It is totally true that people will understand the general meaning.
Mm.
But remember, the ultimate goal we set at the beginning of this deep dive.
To sound calm, confident, and professional.
Exactly. In English, the word work, when referring to your job, is uncountable. We don't say many works.
Right.
Saying it signals to a native speaker that you are translating directly from your native language in real time. It takes away your professional polish.
Okay, I get that. So what should they say instead to maintain that professional respect?
The simple fix is just a lot of work. But an even better, significantly more professional alternative is the specific noun, workload.
Workload, literally the actual load or physical weight of the work you carry.
Exactly. Your workload is the total amount of responsibilities you are managing. So instead of saying, I have many works, you would say, I have a heavy workload.
My workload is heavy this week.
Yeah.
That sounds incredibly polished.
When you use a term like heavy workload, it shows a high-level mastery of the corporate environment. It elevates your status in the conversation.
You are no longer someone struggling with English grammar. You are a competent professional managing your responsibilities.
Precisely.
Okay, so we have deadlines, and we have a heavy workload. But let's look at the modern office reality. Sometimes the thing making our workload so heavy isn't actually our core work at all.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
It is the ultimate time suck.
Oh.
Meetings.
The worst.
You can't really tell a colleague, I have a lot on my plate, if the only thing on your plate is sitting in a conference room or staring at a video call all day.
No, that requires a completely different set of vocabulary. When your day is consumed by meetings, you need specific language to broadcast that reality to people trying to reach you.
What's the best way to say it?
The most straightforward, natural sentence is just, I'm in meetings all morning.
I'm in meetings all morning. It's
Yeah.
clear, it's effective.
Very effective.
But let's look at a worse scenario. What about those days where one video call ends at 10:00 a.m., the next one starts exactly at 10:00 a.m., the next one is at 11:00 a.m., and you literally do not have 3 minutes to go get a glass of water?
Exhausting. For that specific scenario, the perfect phrase is, I have back-to-back meetings today.
Back to back. I want the listener to visualize two people standing with their shoulders and backs touching.
Yeah, there is absolutely zero physical space between them.
Right, that is what the schedule looks like. One meeting is directly touching the next meeting, with no space to breathe in between.
Saying, I have back-to-back meetings from 9 to 12 is a highly efficient way of signaling to another person, do not expect an email reply from me anytime soon.
That's a great warning phrase.
And there's another highly versatile phrase we should explore for this kind of day. My schedule is packed.
My schedule is packed, meaning your schedule is completely full, much like a suitcase you're trying to force shut before a long trip.
I love that visual.
Yeah, you have shoved in every shirt, every pair of shoes, and there is no room for even one more pair of socks. Your schedule is that suitcase.
It really is.
And the beauty of this phrase is that it applies far beyond the corporate office, too.
That is a great point. How might a learner use this outside of a traditional business setting?
Well, think about a parent managing a household. I have to drop the kids at school, go to the grocery store, and cook dinner. My schedule is packed today.
Or a university student, right?
Yeah.
I have 3 lectures and a study group today. My schedule is packed.
Exactly. A freelance designer, a small business owner, anyone can use it. It is a highly flexible tool to just keep in your vocabulary pocket.
Which brings up a very practical challenge.
Oh, what's that?
So your schedule is packed, your workload is heavy, and you have back-to-back meetings. What do you actually do when a manager walks up to you and asks you to take on yet another task?
See, this is where the panic really sets in. Because you cannot just stare at your boss and give a blunt, aggressive no.
You really cannot.
Yeah.
This is where we need to introduce the art of polite pushback.
Mm-hmm.
You need to utilize what we call soft delays.
Soft delays.
Yes. You're not refusing the work, but you are actively taking control of the timeline.
Okay, let's hear some examples of a soft delay in action.
A highly effective one is, I can do it, but I need a little more time.
Oh, notice the structure there. You start with a positive affirmation. I can do it.
Exactly. You are establishing yourself as a helpful team player first. But then you immediately set the boundary. I need a little more time.
I can see how that softens the interaction. But won't a manager just get annoyed if an employee keeps delaying them?
Well, a good manager won't, provided you're offering a solution rather than just a roadblock.
Okay, what's another option?
Another great soft delay is, could I get back to you later?
Oh, that's polite.
This is perfect for when someone stops you in the hallway and asks a really complex question. You are validating their question but controlling when you answer it.
Right, you aren't ignoring them.
Or if they want to schedule a meeting today and your schedule is packed, you suggest, can we move this to tomorrow? You are offering an immediate, clear alternative rather than just a flat rejection.
Okay, those are excellent strategies for delaying. But let's imagine a scenario where delaying just isn't enough.
Like you're completely underwater.
Yeah, you are genuinely so overwhelmed that you physically cannot accomplish everything assigned to you by the end of the week. This is where we need to pull out two vital pocket words, right?
Yes, we do. Those words are prioritize and focus.
Prioritize and focus.
To prioritize means to look at a massive list of tasks and strategically decide which one is the absolute most important to complete first.
And to focus means to direct all of your attention and energy onto that one specific thing, just ignoring all the other distractions.
And learners can actually use these words to ask their managers for help.
Right. You can say, could you help me prioritize this list? Or which tasks should I focus on first?
It's so direct, but so polite.
But I have to admit, I talk to a lot of language learners who are absolutely terrified to use these sentences.
Really? Why is there so much fear around asking for prioritization?
Because they believe it makes them look weak or incompetent.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, the thought process is if I tell my boss I don't know what to do first, they will assume I am disorganized, lazy, or simply incapable of handling my job.
So instead of speaking up, they just stay quiet.
Exactly. They stay quiet, absorb the extreme stress, and try to work until midnight to finish everything.
Wow. We need to completely reframe that mindset for the listener right now.
Please do.
Asking a manager for help to prioritize your tasks does not show weakness. In Western corporate culture, it actually shows incredible strategic awareness.
Really?
Absolutely. It demonstrates that you understand time is a limited resource, and you want to align your efforts with the company's most urgent goals.
So asking, which tasks should I focus on first, is actually a highly professional skill.
It is a sign of a confident, proactive employee. You are essentially inviting your manager to collaborate with you on resource management, rather than just suffering in silence at your desk.
It changes the whole dynamic. You're teammates, not just a boss and a stressed-out worker.
Exactly.
So we have covered a lot of ground here. We have deadline, workload, prioritize, focus, packed schedule. I think it is time we smooth out how we actually put these words together in real everyday conversations.
Yeah, this is where we can catch a few remaining translation habits that might be holding a learner back from sounding truly fluent.
Right. Let's look at some common conversational traps. Imagine a colleague comes over to your desk. You are right in the middle of typing a complex email, and you need them to stop talking for just a second.
Happens all the time.
A very common learner response is to say, please wait me.
Right. And from a grammatical standpoint, we naturally say, wait for me.
But even that sounds weird in an office, right?
It does. In a professional office setting, even saying, please wait for me, sounds a bit clunky and almost demanding.
So what's better?
A much smoother, softer alternative is to just ask a question. Could you give me a few minutes?
Could you give me a few minutes? Yeah, it sounds so much more polite because you're framing it as a request, not a command.
Exactly. Okay, let's try another one. You run into someone in the break room, they ask how you are doing, and you reply, my work is very busy.
I hear that one a lot.
Again, the meaning is understood, but the phrasing is slightly unnatural. Work itself isn't busy, the environment is.
Oh, right. Work is the concept.
Yeah. A much more native-sounding way to phrase it is, work is really busy right now. Or you could say, things are really busy at work.
Much smoother.
Smoother. Okay, what about this scenario? Someone asks you to finish a document review and you reply, I will do it later.
Ooh, the primary issue with I will do it later is the lack of specificity.
Too vague.
Way too vague. In business, vagueness creates anxiety. When is later? Is it in 1 hour? Is it next Thursday?
Right, they don't know when to expect it.
Exactly. To sound like a reliable professional, you need to be specific. You should upgrade that to I'll finish it by the end of the day, or maybe I'll send it to you by tomorrow morning. Specificity builds trust with your colleagues.
I love that rule. Specificity builds trust. That's a great takeaway.
It really is.
Now, I want to introduce something that I think will be incredibly helpful for the listener. We are going to walk through a 4-part formula for answering the age-old question, how's work?
Oh, this formula is great. If a learner uses this pacing, they will sound incredibly calm, clear, and native.
So break it down for us. Okay, so the psychology of this 4-part formula works because it walks the listener through your situation step by step, kind of de-escalating any panic. The structure is, first, Acknowledge the overall situation.
Okay, step one, the situation.
Second, explain the why. Third, state your current action. And fourth, provide a positive, specific resolution.
Let's test this out conversationally so the listener can actually hear the rhythm of it. I will play the stressed employee, and you be the manager checking in on me.
All right, let's see how you handle it. Ready?
Ready.
Hey there. How are things going with your workload this week?
Well, work is really busy right now. I have a major deadline coming up, so I'm focusing completely on the financial report today. But I think I can finish it by Friday.
Boom. Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's pause and analyze why that was so effective.
I felt very calm saying it.
You sounded calm. You didn't just shout, "I'm swamped." You started by calmly establishing the environment. Work is really busy. Then you justified it with the pocket word, deadline coming up. You showed strategic action using another pocket word, focusing on the report. And finally, you ended with that trust-building specificity, finish it by Friday.
It felt very controlled. Like, I didn't feel like I was making excuses. I felt like I was giving you a status update.
Exactly.
And it is vital to point out that this conversational pacing isn't just for people sitting in corporate skyscrapers wearing business suits.
No, not at all.
This structural context works in almost any job.
Absolutely. If you work in a bustling restaurant or a retail store, you might not be writing a financial report, but you still have a heavy workload.
Right. You might be managing urgent orders instead of deadlines.
Exactly. You might be dealing with back-to-back customers instead of back-to-back meetings.
Oh, that's a great parallel.
And after a long weekend shift, you might tell a friend you need to catch up on rest, which is just a brilliant phrase, meaning you need to sleep because you have been running a sleep deficit.
The vocabulary perfectly adapts to whatever your specific definition of work looks like. The core principles of managing expectations, well, they just remain exactly the same.
So as we wrap up this exploration, I think the main takeaway for the listener is that you do not need incredibly complicated academic English to sound native and professional in the workplace.
You definitely don't need to swallow a dictionary.
You truly don't.
You just need clear visual phrases. You need to be brave enough to swap out your safety blanket of, I am very busy, for I'm swamped, or I'm tied up right now, or I have a lot on my plate.
And you need to practice natural conversational patterns like that 4-part formula.
Yeah, so we encourage you to actively choose one phrase to test out this week. Will you ask a manager to help you prioritize? Will you tell a peer your schedule is packed?
Pick just one and see how it feels.
Because if we take a step back and look at the bigger picture of what we've discussed today, this deep dive wasn't really just about memorizing English vocabulary lists.
No, it goes much, much deeper than that.
And that brings us to a final empowering thought I really want you to mull over as you go into your workplace this week. Language isn't just a tool for exchanging raw information.
No, it's not.
Language is the tool we use for establishing boundaries.
That is a very profound way to view language learning.
It's true, though. When you learn to use polite but incredibly clear phrases like, could you give me a few minutes? Or can we move this to tomorrow? You are doing much more than just practicing English pronunciation.
You are actively training your colleagues on how to treat you.
Yes, you are training them to respect your time, to respect your workflow, and to view you as a capable professional who manages their schedule, rather than a victim who is just constantly overwhelmed by it.
You are taking control of the communicative muddy waters, rather than letting yourself drown in them. You are advocating for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the next time you feel that 4:00 p.m. Friday stress rising in your chest, and you are tempted to just freeze and blurt out, I am very busy, take a deep breath, visualize your plate, and politely establish your boundary.
You've got this.
We hope you enjoyed this deep dive and that you feel equipped and ready to tackle whatever workload comes your way this week. Keep practicing your phrases, and we'll catch you next time.